Yes, time to... Whoa, look at the size of him. I mean, he's nearly double the size of the native ones.
Yes,
he's enormous.
they grow much bigger.
Now, I'm not a nervous flyer, but flying in a basket, you're always a little bit concerned. Look at that view. And what about this fantastic cave? Now, this cave was used by the San people 3,000 years ago. They were a Bushman tribe that used to live in here as a safe haven to protect them from wild animals. Wonder if I'll need a safe haven from any wild animals with my next challenge. One way to find out. Avoid a bite and don't take a fright, but get close to the most dangerous animal in Africa at night. There's another one to test my nerves. Now, most people think that the most dangerous animal in Africa is the lion. In fact, the creature that kills more people than most is the mosquito. But if we're talking big animals, then the most dangerous animal in Africa, surprisingly, is the hippo. So I guess that's the animal I'm going to have to find. This is Paul, who works on the Hippo project here at Sambona Game Reserve in South Africa. Now, Paul, hippos, very, very dangerous animals, but most people don't think of them as a dangerous animal. So why are they so dangerous?
I think most people don't think of them as dangerous animals because they eat grass, number one, and number two, they only see them in the water. They only see a small part of the body. And when they come out, it's actually this monstrous big thing.
And I guess they bite you, don't they? That's the danger.
Yeah. People go into the water and so to do whatever they have to do to get water for drink and food, and so they have to wash. And that's when they actually go into the hippo's territory. That's when it becomes a dangerous situation.
Paul, my challenge is to get close to hippos at night. But I guess it would be a good idea to maybe introduce myself during the day. Is that going to be possible?
Yeah, just to look at them.
Is that a possibility?
Oh, we can try.
Okay, brilliant.
Paul took me to the preferred waterhole of the hippos in Sambona. And it wasn't quite what I was expecting. I was greeted by the very unnerving sight of bulldozers repairing a down wall, but the hippos are tolerant neighbours and don't seem to mind the noise.
Paul, I've got to say, this is not a place I'd expect to see hippos. It's like a building site. What is going on?
Well, you can see between those two mountains we had a big dome wall, and unfortunately about a year ago the dome wall broke because we had massive rains.
Paul, it's great to get this close to them in the day, but that's not my challenge. My challenge is to get close to them at night. So how am I going to do that without getting hurt?
We've got to, at the moment we're actually feeding them. We have to supplement their diet because of the construction going on here and them being under a bit of a stressful situation. So we feed them with lucerne. That's going to give us the opportunity to actually get quite close to them. So we put out food during the daytime and then we come monitor them at night. So I'm sure we'll get quite nice and close at that time.
Not too close, I hope, though. Should we put the food out?
Let's do that.
So this is fodder. Gosh, now we're getting quite close, aren't we?
Yeah, close at the moment.
To the really big male. How quickly could he get to us? She says slightly
I reckon
nervously.
from that distance, probably about 5 or so seconds from there to here.
5 seconds?
Because the water's quite shallow.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's just great. And he has a very, very, very big mouth. I am 5 seconds away from the most dangerous animal in Africa. Oh,
And he's not there anymore.
Oh, no, I feel nervous now. What should we do if he does suddenly appear in 5 seconds right next to us? What should we do?
Right next to us? No, it depends on the situation. Luckily he's still in the water and that's where they feel safe. So the possibility that he comes out here now is not very likely, but...
Oh, that's a relief. Coming closer. Should we go?
Fine.
Look at that. That is a fantastic sight. Now, we've just moved away, and as soon as we moved away from the hay, the hippos have come out of the water. They really are enormous, and it is a big shame that my challenge wasn't to see a hippo out of water in the day, because I would have completed it. But that wasn't the challenge, so I've still got to come out at night. But to see them like this and to see the little calf is a real treat.
It wasn't long before the sun began to set and darkness crept in. But would the hippos leave the cool of the pool and venture out to taste the hay we'd left them earlier?
Well, that is absolutely fantastic. I didn't think we'd arrive and it would just be there. Gosh, it's one thing seeing them in the day, but at night,
Quite special.
I mean, he really does look absolutely huge, and of course we're closer than we were in the day, aren't we?
Yeah, much closer. It's incredible to see them move as well. Then you just realise that they are so fast and agile for their bulk.
They have the most enormous mouths. Why do they have to have such big mouths?
Because they're so big. They have to eat a lot to keep those bodies nice and healthy. And it also houses their teeth. With the big bulls, fighting teeth, very important for dominance and territorial disputes.
So just how dangerous are these hippos at night?
Very. They are very dangerous.
So what damage would they do? They would bite, I presume?
Yeah, they bite people in half.
You're serious? They bite people in half?
Incidences recorded where they actually bit people in half.
Well, you didn't tell me that earlier when we were on the ground with them. Gosh. Oh, he's coming close now. That is close. That is really close. I've never, ever been this close to a hippo before. And I reckon I can say now that I avoided a bite, I didn't get a fright, and I got really close to the most dangerous animal in Africa. I reckon that's challenge complete.
Just look at all these swans. You know something? I think we take swans for granted in Britain. They are in fact very beautiful, elegant birds, and they make me just want to stand up and do some ballet. No time for that though. I've got another challenge to do, which is find an alien in the water and in the air. Find an alien. Sounds spooky.
Finding aliens was not going to be easy, so I sought the help of one of Britain's most experienced alien hunters.
This is Julie from the Environment Agency, who not only looks after the environment in this country, but knows all the alien species that invade us. What exactly are alien species, Julie?
Alien species are those species that have been introduced to this country. They wouldn't normally occur here, and they tend to be quite problematic. There can be alien plants and alien animals like the grey squirrel, which has been released.
My challenge, Julie, is to find an alien species in the water and one in the air. Can you help me out with either of those?
I can certainly help you to find one in the water. Come with me.
Okay, brilliant.
With our wellies on, we waded out into a nearby lake. We were hunting for crayfish.
Oh, they're cool, Julie. So are these the bad boys? Are these the aliens?
No, these are our native crayfish. These are globally threatened, and they're very important species.
So why are these guys threatened? Is it because of the alien species coming in?
Mainly, yes. The alien species carries a plague. It's a fungus that will affect the native crayfish and kill them. But also the alien crayfish is much larger and will outcompete the native one.
Well, it's all very well, and he's very nice. In fact, she's very nice because she's got eggs, but she's not alien. And that's what I'm looking for. This is not helping me with my challenge, Julie. Shall I put her back?
Yes, I think we should put her back and we'll go and look somewhere else.
Okay.
Julie and I headed a few miles down the road to a site where she thought we might find our alien crayfish.
So, Julie, this is a good spot to look for the alien invaders, is it?
It is, Michaela. We've got burrows in the bank here which indicate that the crayfish are present. So if we turn some stones here and have a dig around, we should find some.
Julie, what are you doing now?
I'm digging amongst the tree roots for any crayfish that might be hiding. They tend to hide in areas where there's overhanging trees and deep pools.
You got one?
Yes, we've got some.
Whoa, look at the
large one
size of
here.
him! I mean,
Yes.
he's nearly double the size of the native ones.
Yes,
He's
they grow
enormous.
much bigger.
Is it okay to pick him up?
Yes, if you pick him up from behind the claws so he doesn't pinch you, because they're really quite a nasty nip if they get you.
Whoa, those are big claws and he's ready to use them. Look at that.
And they grow to about twice that size. That's quite a young one.
Seriously?
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, you can see that if you were a little native crayfish, you would be panicking if you saw one of those, wouldn't you?
Yes.
What happens to them once you catch them like this? Do you put them back?
No, we can't put them back. It's illegal to release these crayfish to the wild, and it's very important if people find them in rivers, they don't take them home to put in their garden pond, because they will spread from there, and it's illegal to release them to the wild like that.
So there you have it, the American crayfish. He's big, he's mean, he carries a disease, and he's definitely an underwater alien. Well, that's half my challenge complete.
With my alien in the water ticked off the list, it was time to look upwards for my alien in the air.
And Johnny Wilkinson drops for World Cup glory. And yes, England win the World Cup! But I'm not here to muck around and pretend to play rugby. I'm here to find my aliens in the air. And in about half an hour, apparently they're going to land in those trees.
Suddenly, I spotted my alien invaders coming into land at the other end of the rugby pitch.
Whoa, look, here are my alien invaders. They're not quite spaceships and little green men, but they are green. Now, they're ring-necked parakeets, and they're not supposed to be in this country. They're not native to Great Britain. They actually came here, probably being released as pets. It's estimated that we've got about 5,000 of these parakeets living in this country now. And now they're breeding, and their numbers are just going up and up. And they are beautiful birds, and as you can hear, very noisy.
Just my luck, the parakeets had decided to move on again. The aliens were proving hard to keep up with.
Well, you won't believe it, but these birds have moved again. They've moved back to where we originally thought that they were going to land, in the poplar trees. And just listen to that noise. I mean, just hearing that, you can realise that there really are 1,000 birds in this roost. Well, I found my American alien crayfish in the water, and I found my little green aliens in the trees. So I guess that is challenge complete. Well, it's a rocky habitat, but hopefully it won't be a rocky challenge. Get a bird's eye view of an animal that jumps really high and an animal that doesn't jump at all. A bird's eye view? I better start flapping. Whew. It's working! So Charles, is it a good day to fly?
A very good day to fly. We're going to test it now this morning.
Perfect flying weather, but something tells me we might need a bigger balloon than that. Now this is more like it. This is a hot air balloon, and it's one of the best ways to get a bird's eye view of wildlife without scaring it off.
The trip started so well, it really did seem a perfect day for flying.
Whoa, look at that. That is what you call a big balloon. And hot air ballooning is so exciting. Now, I'm not a nervous flyer, but flying in a basket, you're always a little bit concerned. We're going up! Up, up and away in a beautiful balloon. Oh wow, what a great feeling. Now
Now the emergency exits are over the side. The in-flight movie is a wildlife special. Well, my challenge is to find an animal that can't jump at all and an animal that can jump really high. So the animal I'm hoping to see is an elephant, because did you know they're the only mammal that can't jump, and something like either a springbok, a kudu or an eland, because they can jump extremely high. All three of those can jump to 2 meters, which is about the height of a fully grown man.
It wasn't long before I spotted my first animals, and one in particular that would help me complete the first part of my challenge. An animal that jumped.
Now those are springbok. They're quite small, but they are so fast. They can run up to 88 kilometers an hour, and they can do 3-meter leaps. Now they also do something called pronking. It's a very distinctive behaviour. And what they do is these little leaps of 2 meters with their legs straight and their back arch. So they sort of jump up like that. Well, I think I've spotted something, and I think it's the animal I'm looking for. I think it's an ellie. Let's have a look. Yes! There are my ellies. They are the animals that don't jump at all. Surprisingly, they can run pretty fast, and their walking is probably as fast as my running, because they walk, if they're at a steady walk, at about 5 miles an hour, and that's certainly how fast I run. This is as near as you can get to flying like a bird. It is so incredibly peaceful when the burner's not going. Well, we've landed without a single bump. That was such a soft landing. But hey, I completed my challenge. I managed to see in the distance an animal that doesn't jump at all and an animal that jumps really high. Plus, I flew like a bird. That is definitely challenge complete.
Canada, they have some very sweet little animals like beavers, skunks and river otters. This one is a baby. It's just 12 weeks old and you are absolutely adorable, aren't you? Anyway, time for my next challenge, which is be nurse to a twit-to-woo. A twit-to-woo? Well, that's got to be an owl, which I'm afraid, my sweet little thing, counts you out.
To meet the twit-twoos in my challenge, I've come to the Owl Rehab Centre in Vancouver, where they rescue and look after all sorts of sick and injured owls.
This is Gail, and I'm going to be her assistant, Nurse Michaela, for the day. Gail, what's our first patient?
It is a baby barn owl, and it is a baby, and so it's very delicate.
So it's my job to get it out?
Yes, it is.
Oh, I've got him.
He is a baby out of the nest, and as you can see, he's very young. He's only a few weeks old.
Put him on his back.
And put him on his back, and I will...
So did he fall out of the nest?
So he probably fell out of the nest or was pushed out of the nest. And
oh, he's not letting go, is he?
That's okay. So we're just going to check him over for injuries. We've had some that have come in here that have fallen quite long distances and not hurt themselves.
Really?
It's amazing. So he's probably ready for a nap.
That's my first patient seen to. Time to put him back in his cage with some food and meet the next one.
Yeah, oh, up again.
There we go.
What sort of owl is that then?
This is a barred owl.
Barred owl?
An adult barred owl that has some head trauma, as you can see by the eye. Just
so I'm taking him, all right?
You're taking him.
This looks like a much more dangerous bird.
All right.
Okay.
I think this guy's just got a headache. And
So
he's
what
just
happened to him then?
He definitely has hit something, has head trauma, so it's probably hit a window or hit by a car.
Oh, can you see something?
Yeah, if you look at his ears here, see the green and the blue?
So that's like a great big bruise. That's sore.
That hurts.
After examining his bruise, we check the barred owl over for other injuries and also weigh him to make sure he's eating enough.
Hold his
going back?
wings, he's going back.
This one then, yeah?
Yeah, this cage is all ready.
Okay. Now, obviously he's going to jump up quite quickly, isn't he?
Yes, he is. So you want to pull your hand away real fast.
Next, it's time for lunch. Not for me, but for the patients. The centre is not just home to owls. There are all sorts of birds of prey. And the first patient on my lunchtime round is Spartacus.
There he comes.
Hey! You're gorgeous. Look at that yummy dinner, eh? So, girl, what's wrong with Spartacus?
Spartacus is a little male kestrel, and he actually came to us with a sore foot. If you notice his right foot there, he's got some missing toes.
Yep.
And so that's why he's non-releasable, as he probably wouldn't be able to hunt very good.
There you go. Well, that's the better part of my nursing, I've got to say, because you are very sweet. See you later. Well, my last job of the day is to just look after Oddie here, who's a special needs barn owl and just needs a little bit of company, which is one of my easier jobs. It's been quite tiring being a nurse, and I think I've exceeded my challenge of being a nurse to Twit Tuo. I've done lots of owls and a few other birds as well. So that is challenge complete.